When I talked about viral persistence and spike protein with COVID, and I mentioned that the virus itself has proteins in it that are HIV like, Substack went bananas. And I had uh, a lot of questions about this. So I'm going to change the music in the background a little bit. Bear with me. So what happened was this. We were contacted by all sorts of media regarding our post. What did I say? Spike protein is bad. It's a bad part of SARS-CoV-2. And as Patrick Soon-Shiong said, the vaccine makers made a wrong choice by using the spike protein as the protein to trick our immune system. Because all it ended up immunosuppressing us, making our immune system worse, making it overactive. But I also said it wasn't just the vaccine, it was also the virus. The virus itself also has proteins that are like HIV proteins, and so that's very bad. So, over the last 5 years of treating long COVID, I can tell you this. There have been all sorts of theories of spike detoxes. How do I get spike out of my body? Well, to get spike out of your body, I think the most important thing is you need to understand where it goes. It goes everywhere. It goes into your brain. It can go into your thymus. It can go into your lymph nodes. And your lymph nodes over here. It can go into your gut. It can go into your bone marrow. And that's one of the worst places for it. In addition to that, if you have viral persistence, the virus goes in those places too. The virus likes to make reservoirs just like like chickenpox. Chickenpox will make a reservoir in your dorsal root ganglion. When you're immunosuppressed, boom, you get shingles. This should have been one of the big red flags when we saw people who got vaccination immediately got shingles afterwards. And there was a ton of that. In addition to that, people who got infection immediately got shingles afterwards. So if you want to try and spike detox, you have a lot of things you can try and do, right? One of the most important things that you can do is you can identify where it is. And unfortunately, in the United States, like I said before, there's no assay for spike protein. But there's a lot of autopsies after people die where they find spike protein, and it's in brain, it's in gut, it's in bone marrow, it's everywhere. The same is true for virus. So the most important thing you can do with this is enhance your own body's ability to clear these. It's a big problem because the spike protein itself will induce something called cellular senescence and make your immune system not work well. So you have to boost your immune system. You have to boost your protein cleaving abilities of your own. These are things like fasting, enhancing autophagy, hyperbaric oxygen. These are things like enhancing your T cell activity so your T cells can kill the spike laden or the virus infected cells that you have. How do you boost that? Well, there's a protocol called the TRIM protocol that uses things like growth hormone and uses things like DHEA to help reactivate your T cells, reactivate your thymus. And as I've said for a zillion times here, the spike in SARS-CoV-2 and in the vaccine ages you. In addition to that, viral infection ages you. So all of these things need to be fixed. So you need to sort of find a longevity doctor to help you get rid of spike protein. Now, there are other sorts of ideas, things like using filters like EBU or using plasmapheresis to pull the blood out of your body, filter it, run it through filters, and then put it back in your body, even dialysis. And the theory is maybe even if I just donate blood and get rid of my blood, I'll get rid of spike protein. And that may work in many cases, but not all cases, especially if you have viral persistence or if you have integration. Now, integration, Patrick Soon-Shiong, when he was recently interviewed, he said he doesn't believe in integration. But I'm going to tell you right now, I think we have to keep our minds open to the possibility that you could get integration of that spike mRNA into your cellular manufacturing gear to make that protein forever until those cells die. And so one of the ways that you're going to have to fix things is you're going to have to kill those cells. You're just going to have to get rid of those cells. And again, that's going to come back to enhancing your T cells, just like Patrick Soon-Shiong said. So you can take all the bromelain and nattokinase and everything. That's treating downstream stuff. And that may help your cells break down the proteins, do proteolysis, which a defect in proteolysis, guess what? That's also an aging hallmark. So again, my theory is SARS-CoV-2 is an aging virus. SARS-CoV-2 is a virus that has HIV-like proteins that suppress our immune system and cause worsening inflammation, leading to the accelerating of our age, which is a big issue. If you're a longevity doctor like me, there's a virus out there accelerating your aging. That's a big problem. And so we have to fix it. So we have to get rid of virus from the body with viral persistence identification through things like the nucleocapsid test, and also looking at your immune system, your T cell subsets, your NK cells, your naive T cells to see how your thymus is working, looking at your B cells, and making sure that you have the right antibodies to paint the target so you can go and nuke those infected cells or their cells with spike protein in them. That's the best way to eradicate spike. Fix your own health system. You want to fix your immune system. You want to fix your ability to perform autophagy. And you want to help fix your mitochondria, because at the root cause of a lot of these defects is a mitochondrial problem. Well, it's great. How do we fix mitochondria? Well, spike itself can be toxic to the mitochondria. It can destroy their membranes. So there's a peptide called SS31 that helps rebuild your mitochondrial lining, your inner membrane, so to speak. In addition, by looking at your mitochondrial function through things like a mitoswab or an acylcarnitine profile, you're able to identify where you may have defects in what is called the electron transport chain. And so by working through those things, improving your mitochondria, improving your T cell function, okay, improving autophagy through things like fasting, through things like rapamycin. And yes, I don't care what Brian Johnson said about rapamycin. It's got more data behind it as an anti-aging than anything else out there. Full stop. So anti-aging therapies to remove spike protein is a smart strategy, and I think it's a smart way to go. But number one, you have to find out whether you have viral persistence or not. And that is done through looking at the nucleocapsid antibody and tracking that antibody after an infection. Do not test it within the first 90 days of an infection, because that's when that antibody goes up and down. You need to test it after that. So this sort of live that I'm giving you right now is kind of follow up with that. But I'm going to have to go right now because I got to go into my kids' classroom for science, technology, engineering, and math. Hopefully this is a little science in longevity, spike protein, and SARS-CoV-2 virus. And hopefully that gives you a little bit of an inside view into how you have to address it to help have a life well lived. All right, I'm going to let you guys go. I'll talk to you on the next one.